channel, guys. Hugh Carnahan, the Kaizen Man, and today I'm going to be going into private lending. Make sure you stick around to the end when we actually go over the entire lending process simplified format. Remember, this is just a brief overview. You need to make sure that you check your jurisdiction and your local laws, because this varies wildly. You should not take my advice, an internet stranger. Make sure that you're doing everything legally, but here is a rough overview of how the process works. We'll get into it right now. All right, so today we are going to be taking this contract here, and we are engaging in private lending. And what that means is that we are going to be lending somebody money, and I'm going to take first position lien against their duplex. Now, most of this I got from the private lending Facebook group. It's run by Alex BRRRR. She does an amazing job of teaching private lending. I was very thankful that she went ahead and shared what she knows with us. So the first thing is, imagine a duplex. You can see a duplex is on the screen right there. Imagine this duplex, which we are taking a duplex, is we're going to be lending money to the person who owns this duplex. The person who owns the duplex is a BRRRR real estate investor. So I'm lending him money, he's gonna BRRRR it back out. I'm going to give him a BRRRR for a 6-month term. So at the end of the 6 months, he's gonna give the money back to me plus interest. And what you'll see is people will cut a check and hand it to people. Well, that's not good. What you wanna do is you want to draw up a note in Missouri here, and you need to check your local laws because it differs wildly by jurisdiction. It's called a promissory note. So I am lending him money, and if he defaults, then I get to take possession of his property. And you want to have this recorded at a title company. And the title company, you make the check out to, in our case today, it's going to be Titan Title in Springfield, Missouri. If you are investing in the area, by the way, they're incredible to work with if you're an investor. So give them a look up. But you pay Titan Title the money. In this case, let's say hypothetically you're lending $10,000. So you make your check for $10,000 to Titan Title, and then they will then put it in an escrow account where it's held by a third party. They have done all the due diligence and title insurance and title work against the property, and then they issue the check to borrower 1, 2, 3. So I'm the lender, they're the borrower, and you sign the contract, they sign the contract, they notarize it, and the title company is basically doing the legwork to make everything legal. And now there is a record of this. Now, after this BRRRR investor finishes BRRRRing their property, they're gonna go to a bank, and they're gonna say, hey bank, I've got this wonderful property here. You know, it's worth $150,000 as a duplex. It makes X amount of cash flow. I want to borrow money against it. So what'll happen is the bank will lend them, they'll have it appraised, let's say it comes back at $150,000. The borrower will then be able to borrow out about 75% of the money back out. Let's say the bank comes back, the house is worth $150,000, they can borrow 75% out, which means they're borrowing about $112,500 out. They then use that to keep in their pocket. Anything else, I will get a check back for the $10,000 plus interest, whatever that may be, agreed upon on our terms, and then I will then sign a first lien satisfied at the closing table when I go to pick up my check from the title company. So that's kind of private lending in a nutshell. You'll see a little bit of that. Now, one of the most important things is when it comes to the check writing, make sure that you write the check not out to the person who's borrowing money, but to the title company. Have them record everything, and then from there, the title company will actually pay the borrower. This is how you do it legally. This is how you do it safely. And this is how there's a record of everything that's being kept. I suppose you could, depending on what state you're in, but remember, now this promissory note will be recorded against the property forever on public record that this transaction has taken place. So the borrower can't just sell the property or do something else to it. We are first position against it. So if anything happens, we get paid back first. Remember, if they end up defaulting, you get this house. So if I'm lending out, let's say $10,000, I just got a duplex for $10,000. Now, $10,000 is such a low number that they're probably going to sell their car or do anything they can to maintain their duplex. But this is just the very beginning of lending. So these are very basic entry-level practices. Again, check out Alex BRRRR's Facebook lending group. You'll see it linked down below. She does a great job explaining stuff. And again, check your local laws. Don't trust me, I'm just some random internet stranger, but these are extra steps to make sure that you get compensated if they end up defaulting on their loan. We're here at the title company now. Did they move? Oh my God, they moved offices. We were at the wrong place. Defect. All right, we're 5 minutes away. We gotta go north. Titan title and closing. Look at that. Spot made just for us.
Then we'll have you signing grant. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much.
All right, guys, and just like that, we've left the title company. I'm now poorer. I've lent my money out. The title company is now recorded a deed against the property that shows that I'm the first position lien holder. It protects the borrower. It protects the lender, which is me. And here in sometime between now and 6 months, we should have an update video of me getting the money back plus the interest. So that's pretty much all there is. Remember to double check, talk to an attorney, talk to other real estate investors in your area. This lending law, while varies wildly depending on where you're at, wherever you go, it varies quite a bit. So make sure that you're doing your own due diligence, but this is a very general overview of how private lending would work. All right, guys, so from beginning to end, step 1, come up with agreeable terms with the borrower and draft up a promissory note. Step 2, call or email your title company to begin the process of a closing. Step 3, write a check. Make sure it's to the title company and let them know the terms if applicable. Step 4, on the day of, show up at the title company with the check to the title company and sign. And step 5, this is going to be at the end of the term. Whatever your terms you agreed to, you should be getting all of your money back plus the additional interest that you have, and you will sign a waiver, which is the first lien satisfied waiver. And that's it. It's very simple, but again, check your local areas, join that group, Private Learning Lessons if you guys haven't already, and you can ask your questions. Be sure you clear it all with attorneys yourself in your areas, but it's very straightforward and simple. Hey, I'm gonna loan you money. If you don't give it back, I take this property. So don't let this stuff scare you guys. If you're in a position where you're like, hey, I've got 10 or 20 grand I can loan, but I can't BRRRR myself or I'm about to deploy, hey, maybe this is something that you look into. So there's lots of strategies out there, lots of ways to skin a cat, and this is one of them. So we'll see you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. There's links down in the comments on books that teach you about real estate and lean manufacturing practices, and that's what made me wealthy. Again, 15 months ago, I was a normal W-2 guy, and now 15 months later, I am a millionaire. And that is because of the education, mainly provided in those books down below. So if you like this kind of stuff, I'm going to be getting a lot more into financial education, real estate side of things, different things. There's many ways to skin a cat. I'm gonna bring you along for the journey, and see you next time.